This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
We'll have lots of high school basketball, as Jeff documented tonight on Sunny 97.7 and 100.7 The Score. And then we'll have the Peach Bowl tonight from Atlanta with Indiana and Oregon. And then tomorrow it's college hoops. The ladies play first at 12:30 with a tip at 1 in Cincinnati as they'll take on UC. The Bearcats coming off a big win over Iowa State, as Jeff Haxton documented during the Red Raider Daily Update. Lady Raiders coming off a win at West Virginia, their first there since 2015. For the men, the number 14 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders play at Colorado. That'll be tomorrow night at 6. Our coverage at 5 on Double T 97.3. Jamie, how about this? And I guess I should have realized this, but I didn't until I just kind of looked at the notes. But the Red Raiders haven't played at Colorado since 2010. I mean, they took a little respite from the Big 12, obviously, to go to the Pac-12. But if you'd have said, hey, when's the last time that Tech played at CU? And I'm like, oh, what, a couple years ago, a year ago? But no, 2010. So it's been 16 years since you've played there. They won't, if anybody's on that trip that was there in 2010, which I don't think there is, they'll go, well, hey, nothing's changed. The same old CU Event Center. But is it the same old Colorado Buffaloes? They're 12-3 and 2-0 in Big 12 play. They're coming off of a win over Utah, 85-73. Is this a better team, or is this a team that's propped up because they didn't play anybody in the non-con?
Well, I mean, last year they didn't get their second Big 12 win until late in February, and now they're 2-0. So I don't care. I'm not saying Arizona State and Utah are the tops of the top in the Big 12 conference, but to start 2-0 for them, I think is obviously a huge step forward from last season. I mean, they only won 3 Big 12 games last year. So do I think that they should be a challenge for the Red Raiders? No, not really. But it is a road game in the Big 12 conference, so you never know what's going to happen. But I still feel like they're better than they were a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to improve, and if we're gonna talk about the Lady Raiders and how much they've improved, then you kind of look at that and go, well, hey, they've won 4 Big 12 games already this year, and they won only 4 all of last year. So I'm not saying it's the same, that it equates the same, but like you said, I mean, they've won 2 Big 12 games, and the Red Raiders have won 1. You're 1-1, 11-4. You've played this really, really, I think, tough schedule that is supposed to prepare you for Big 12 play. And so tomorrow night, part of that proof in the pudding is, hey, we played all these hard games, like going to Illinois and playing LSU and playing Arkansas and then having to start the road games in the Big 12, playing at Houston. Not saying that's just going to be layups and jump stops, but this is why you played those games, so that when you go in to take on a team like Colorado that's probably kind of feeling a little bit themselves and kind of feeling like, hey, we got some confidence here. This is why you played the tough schedule, so you can go in and take care of business against teams like that, right?
Yeah, I'm still. It's not going to be all layups and jump stops. It's a new one.
It just kind of came out.
Well,
it just kind of came out,
Yeah. Well, after seeing the 2 teams in the Lady Raider West Virginia game on Wednesday night, shoot 9 of 24 on layups and 13 of 29 on layups.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the layups that easy anymore.
No, I mean,
maybe they should stick with the jump stops, I guess.
well, yeah. I mean, and the layups had been going kind of easy for them this year, but
they're supposed to.
Yeah, well, but I mean, when you have a lot of pressure in the paint on people, and then the shot clock's winding down, and you got 2 or 3 people on you. I mean, they're still hard. I mean, they're still hard to make. At the end of the day. But I mean, you need to be better than that, and I think they understand that. I think they understand that. Tech leads the Big 12 in 3-pointers, making 11 a game, and that's been a big part of your game this year. But man, you kind of want to see the defense like you saw the other night against Houston, and have your offense just be better, like what you saw with Oklahoma State when you scored 102. And I'm not saying you got to score 102 every night to win, because that's putting a lot of pressure on your team, but you sure got to be above 65 most nights, almost every night to win, right?
I would think so. In this conference where there's enough really good offensive players, I mean, Houston clearly, they're based on their defense. They win games because of how good they are defensively, and then they do enough offensively. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think if you're scoring 65 a game in Big 12 play, you're probably finishing around 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that.
This is probably going to make you laugh as well. It's Captain Obvious kind of stuff, and it's probably stupid to say, but this really is a must-win game for you tonight or tomorrow night.
Feel free to explain.
Well, I mean, you got to win this game. I mean, this is one of those teams where,
or
it's going to be really hard to be a top 3 team and compete in the Big 12. I just don't think you can afford to. This is not a game you can afford to lose.
It is definitely a game that if your level is only as high as is not as good as Colorado's, you're probably not finishing in the top 3 anyway. Okay, yeah. Let's be honest. But I mean, it's the 3rd game of Big 12 play.
Right.
I mean, to call it a must-win. I mean, yes, it's one that you should absolutely win. It's one that I'm not going to disagree that it would make it harder to finish in the top 3. But if you're losing at Colorado, you're not a top 3 team.
You got bigger problems than that.
You're not a top 3 team.
All right. This Day in Sports History is next. We'll continue this conversation. Red Raiders in Colorado tomorrow from Boulder at 5 and play-by-play at 6 on Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With This Day in Sports History, here is Jamie Lent. Or is Jeff McGuire. Sorry to throw that curveball at you, Jamie.
I was just sitting here waiting patiently for it to break over the plate.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to shove the paper through the window.
Yeah. Sorry about that, boys.
Okay, let's start off with 1951. And when I say Washington Capitals, what do you think of?
I think of hockey.
Me too.
Those would be correct answers, because it was today in 51 that the Washington Capitals NBA team folded.
Okay.
I would have lost a large sum of money that the Washington Capitals were an NBA team at one point. 1952, Marines give notice that they will be recalling Ted Williams to active duty.
Wow.
Marines were apparently Yankee fans.
That was funny, Jamie.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you very much. You kind of tipped it off by the laughing part.
I know, but I just wanted to let you know it was funny.
In 1972, led by future Lakers star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the LA Lakers 120-104, ending LA's consecutive win streak at 33 games, the longest winning streak in Major League sports history. 1988, U.S. Male Figure Skating Championship is won by Brian Boitano. In 2000, Miami Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino wins his last career NFL game, a 20-17 win over Seattle. And in 2002, Kasib Powell scores 12 of his 21 points in the second half, and Will Chavis, three-point basket in the closing minutes helped Texas Tech to a 72-70 victory over Texas A&M. It was their 10th victory in a row.
Nice.
It is National Apricot Day.
Oh, God. That's a worthless fruit.
I don't think I've ever had it. So.
You say apricot or apricot?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not exclusive to either one.
Okay.
Happy birthday today to Kate Middleton, who's 44. J.K. Simmons is 71. Dave Matthews, 59. Jimmy Page, 82. Chad, don't call me Ocho Cinco Johnson, is 48. Muggsy Bogues is 61. Michael Beasley, 37. And Otis Nixon is 67.
Otis Nixon is 67?
Yes.
He looked like he was 67 when he was playing.
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking the same thing about Muggsy Bogues is 61. And then Michael Beasley, 37. Wow.
Mm. When I think about Michael Beasley, I think about him getting thrown out of the, they have like the NBA when they bring all their rookies in.
Yeah.
They have like a conference with the rookies and they teach them things, what to do and what not to do and how to handle certain things. And he and I can't remember who else it was, but got thrown out of it for smoking weed. It's great. That's just terrific.
Way to
get thrown out of the training session of don't smoke weed.
He was smarter than them.
Yeah.
He was smarter than them.
And on this day in 1952, in his 1952 State of the Union address, President Harry S. Truman warns America that they are, quote, moving through a perilous time, and calls for vigorous actions to meet the communist threat. Through Truman's popularity had nosedived during the previous 18 months because of complaints about the way he handled the Korean War, his speech received a standing ovation from Congress and special guest, Prime Minister Winston Churchill. And this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. All right, Jeff, thank you. 6:50 this morning here on the morning drive.
I wonder how many times the Prime Minister, head of state of, not the king or queen, but like the actual head of the government of England has been there for the State of the Union. That I found that especially intriguing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I do not know the answer, though.
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah. My guess is hasn't happened very many times.
That would be my guess, too.
I still would like to, I'd like to attend one of those once. I think that'd be fun. What I'd really like to be is the guy that's the town crier that comes out and says there at the top of the steps, introduces the president, and gets to, he just kind of shouts it out without a microphone. And, I'd like to think that probably that's probably a role Jeff or I could fill because we've got a loud voice and we're sometimes, disparaged for it. And, but that'd be a time when that talent would come in handy, when you introduce the president at the State of the Union. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the United States. Probably not quite like that, but somewhat similar.
Okay, I think you'd be good at it.
One of the very.
If you could then stop talking.
Right. That would.
That's your moment. Okay, that's your 5 seconds of fame or glory. Now let the president walk out and do his thing.
they'd have to show me the door and say, okay, you've said what you needed to say. I know that you've got a lot more that you want to say. We've got a room for you back here. Okay, we've got a room for you back.
Padded.
Padded. We get this. Muggsy Bogues looked 12 when he was playing. He sure did.
It's just because he was so short.
Right. He was just so short. Let's see here. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Let's see here. Somebody brought this earlier that maybe NCAA football should become AAA or minor league to the NFL. Well, you already are to a certain degree, but man, even to another certain degree, some of these guys that are making money now in college football are making more than what they would make playing in the NFL or taking their risk at playing in the NFL. And so as a result of that, you're having a lot older teams. And I don't know, does that give you better football? But it certainly, what it does is it clogs up the pipeline, which has really been clogged up since the whole COVID stuff took place, and gave people, extra time, and now we're considering 5 for 5, and so it feels like you're delaying and stunting players coming out of high school to be able to play. Although, Miami had a guy last night who's should be a true senior in high school, be one of their stars. So
yeah, he's a great player.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it kind of feels like that at this point right now is players are delaying going to the NFL because they have a better chance of making money now in college football, or maybe even college basketball. It is 6:54 this morning.
I was told a stat yesterday, I don't know if I believe it or not, but that Brendan Sorsby in his $5 million deal with Texas Tech is making more than 13 different NFL quarterbacks.
Wow.
I would assume those are backups or third strings or whatever, but still. It's a good gig if you can get it.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We'll have high school hoops for you on the air tonight. Memorial plays at Big Spring tonight, as we'll have that for you on Sunny 97.7. And that'll be a girl-boy doubleheader. And then also tonight we'll have the Lubbock Cooper Pirates as they entertain the Amarillo Golden Sandies. That's a girl-boy doubleheader as well tonight. We'll have both those things getting underway at 6 o'clock this evening. And that Lubbock Cooper game will be on 100.7 The Score. As the high school hoops are back in action. I mean, there are a lot of them that were in action over the holiday with the Caprock tournament and things along those lines. But back to the grind, as they say. We'll have Tech basketball tomorrow. The Lady Raiders play here in Cincinnati. They'll take on UC, a team coming off a big win over Iowa State. Jamie, they posed some real problems, and we'll get into that maybe an hour or so from now. But they have 3 players that have over 40 offensive rebounds on the year. They're big, and Texas Tech has no players that have over 25 offensive rebounds. So that's going to be a point of emphasis tomorrow for the ladies as they take on Cincinnati. They're undefeated at 17-0, and they're 4-0 in Big 12 play, coming off of a win over West Virginia. We'll have that for you on 93.7 The Eagle. The men play at Colorado. 14th ranked Red Raiders taking on Colorado, coming off that loss at Houston on Tuesday night. They'll play a Colorado team that beat Utah, and so they're undefeated in conference play at 2-0 on the season. The Tech men are 1-1 on the season. I wanted to get your opinion on this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, Jamie, with regard to football. You would hope that with the results from this year, Tech will have an easier path to the college football playoff by starting off higher ranked at the beginning of the season. I would think we would start in the top 10. Would you see it that way? Be in the top 10 team going into the season based on what you know right now?
Yeah, I think that's completely accurate.
Yeah. And, the closer that, heck, we saw that last year, Jamie. Just being ranked helped you at the start of the season, going into it and helping you move up. And and put yourself in position, and maybe more than anything else, putting yourself on the radar. I think you're clearly on the radar now as a really good football team and a really good football program, especially obviously coming off of a college football playoff appearance. So.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I'll be surprised if you're not ranked inside the top 10 to start the year.
Yeah. And then there's some negative comments about the offensive coordinators and the quarterbacks and the receivers and all that kind of stuff. But, you're
allowed to read those too.
Yeah, I know. This person says Tech offensive coordinators lost that game. They did not utilize all the quarterbacks, did not utilize other good receivers and plays, not overdoing it on field goals. Touchdowns was their main goal. That is what stopped them from winning. Okay. But Tech, you won your championship. We didn't ask for more. We just enjoyed the ride. Wow.
It's funny. I said to Clint at some point during the game, I said to him, hey, can we get back to complaining about how we're not good in the red zone? Just because you couldn't get to the red zone.
Right.
You weren't moving the ball at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, no way around it. It was a bad day for your offense. And everybody associated with the offense needs to be taking blame.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have. No offensive line would have been good enough to protect Baron Morton. Dude held the ball way too long.
It did feel like they had him confused at times. I would not argue against that.
This person said, I felt quarterback and offensive line was our weakness. Did we add anyone? And if so, who? Well, you added Brendan Sorsby. With regard to the offensive line, you haven't added anybody along those lines yet. But, you've added some receivers. You've retained some of your offensive line, probably quite a bit of your offensive line. And I bet if we were to walk into the football office today and said to Coach McGuire, hey, how do you feel about your offensive line? He's going, I feel great, but he always feels great, right? But I think that he would be able to document for you why he feels great, because that they had brought in a lot of young talent and they're developing that, and those guys, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and more technically aligned. So that's the next time he has and there'll be probably a media opportunity once this portal stuff settles down, and that'll be a question for him. Like, okay, how do you feel about your offensive line, and why do you feel like you didn't need to add anybody?
I don't think that's the case at all. They're trying to add offensive linemen. There's been two. One has been on campus, and another one I think I saw reported yesterday that he was coming too.
Okay.
So I don't think they're not trying to add.
Yeah, I don't mean it I don't mean it quite like that, but and maybe it's just scheduling and when you could get these guys in, but it certainly just looks like, and maybe I'm just the uneducated eye on this, that you've spent a lot of time, emphasis, and money so far on your defense, which I'm all for. And my question out loud wondering is, you must feel pretty good about your offensive line to have made such a point of emphasis on other positions in this portal season.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
That's it. Somebody says, do you think the portal window is closed, Chuck? No, I don't. No, it's not closed yet. It's still got another few days, but maybe in the pecking order, because look, they've got a plan. They've had a plan. Clearly we heard about the plan last year, right? That they identified who they wanted, and they had a strategy of who they were going to go after and when they were going to go after them. And so they probably feel like there's a system, there's a systematic system of what they want to go through, and guys that they know are going to make quick decisions. And let's not be naive. They've reached out to people. There's no question about it. And maybe those guys have said, hey, I'm good for the moment. I've got to finish up this and this and this, and then I can come in. So
yeah, maybe.
I'm not, and I think Bullfighter makes a great comment here. And I'm sure that they would over at Texas Tech football. Do you think, he says the penalties need to be fixed from the offensive line? Yeah.
The penalties need to be fixed? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he said that
Yeah.
the penalties need to be fixed from the offensive line. Yeah.
That would be a major improvement. I mean, that would probably be the biggest complaint of Red Raider fans of the offensive line this season.
Yeah. Right. I'd argue Terrence Carter deserves no blame. Really, the only offensive or special teams player that showed up. You've said this, Jamie, since I think the second after the Orange Bowl ended.
Yeah, but I think just a minute ago I did say anybody associated with the offense deserves blame. Besides Terrence Carter, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, you said that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you've been saying that for ad nauseum for a week. I mean,
he was terrific. He was terrific.
He caught 9 balls. I mean, yeah. And then this is a good point too. Some players that we'll target are still playing in the playoffs. Maybe so.
Possibly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe so. And see, smarter heads prevail sometimes on the 8 Flooring Center chat line. The loss hurt after watching the game at 7 a.m. Took my cooler and chair after and got over it sitting on the beach in Hawaii. Well, good for you.
It's a good way to get over it.
Good way to get over it. Yeah. Took my cooler. I'm going to take my cooler, my chair, and I'm going to the beach. There are worse things in life, right? There are worse things in life. It is the morning drive here on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Jamie's question of the day is coming up next here on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3. So we'll keep you up to speed on all the portal transactions. All you have to do is go to doubletsportsnetwork.com, and you'll see it right there at the top of the website as we've got a man on that. So keep your eye on doubletsportsnetwork.com.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, pretty simple question for you today, something we haven't talked a lot about this week. NFL playoffs start this weekend, so make your Super Bowl predictions. Who's in it and who wins it?
Okay. And man, you're right. I mean, it has been completely off the radar for so many different reasons. I mean, obviously, what's been going on here with Texas Tech has been our focus, and not having the for me, frankly, not having the Chiefs and the Cowboys in it has changed things up. All right, on the AFC.
What?
I know, it was big shock, right? Big shock. I think the Broncos are going to be there for the AFC side, and I realize that's kind of taking the easy way out, taking the number 1 seed, and then on the NFC side. Man, I think it's pretty wide open. I think if the 49ers were healthier, I'd pick them. I think the Eagles, their offense is just, I don't think it's enough. So I'm going to go all the way down to the 5 seed and take the Los Angeles Rams to make it to the Super Bowl.
Okay. And who wins?
I think the Rams win. I think the Rams, Sean, whatever his name is.
McVay.
Sean what?
McVay.
Sean McVay, yeah. Just couldn't remember his name, sorry. I think he gets his second as a head coach.
Okay.
Bills over the Bears in the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's a fun one. That's out there. I'm with Chuck. I think the Rams win it. I think they beat the Patriots and not the Broncos, though. So I got the Rams versus the Patriots and the Rams winning.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far do you think the Bills will go, Jamie?
I think they'll go to Jacksonville on Sunday.
Plan for the worst. Hope for something just a little bit better.
Yeah. Uh, what? So will they advance on from that, Jamie?
And no.
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 No. Okay.
I think it'll be a good game.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, wouldn't it be something, Jamie, if the Bills won and the Los Angeles Chargers won, because then the Bills would get to play a home playoff game.
That would be crazy. All of the above would be crazy. I said it earlier this week, and I stick to it. I think like next week is going to be the divisional round. Is going to be just awesome. I think you're going to get just the really, really good matchups next week. If the favorites win out, like I expect many of them will, especially on the AFC side of things. I just think that the Texans, I think, are a really good football team, and I'm really anxious to see what they do in this postseason. But I mean, the potential for the Texans and the Broncos, with the Broncos' great offense and the Texans' great defense, and then the Pats and the Jags. I mean, those are two really hot football teams. I think on the AFC side of things, it could be a lot of fun next week if all the favorites win.
Who do you think has gotten less fanfare, the Jags or the Texans?
I think it's the Texans. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I mean, there were a lot of people that wrote them off and did the old, well, D'Amico Ryans isn't doing so hot now, when they were 0-2, and like those same people haven't said, hey, look what the Texans have done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know about the voices, but yeah. I mean, when a team got off to the start that they got off to, I think it's understandable when teams feel like, hey, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but they've been really good, and man, their defense is terrific.
I think the voices and the inflection of things is really, really critical when you're trying to ascertain if somebody is jiving you or being serious with you, because I think you can really kind of tell the genuineness of somebody's thoughts, with how they say things.
I think every time you do that voice, it's not like it's just how you do it. It's just how you say. You probably said, D'Amico Ryan, not doing so well. I think that's you're just repeating yourself.
Okay, maybe so. And then on the NFC side, I don't think anybody's not gotten the publicity that they deserve, because, I mean, there's been maybe the Panthers, but there's certainly been.
Well, there's a reason for it. They're not that good.
Yeah,
just their division is terrible.
Sure. I'm
really looking forward to the Packers and Bears game on Saturday night, just because there's so much hatred there, right?
Mm-hmm.
How will Caleb Williams handle the playoffs? Because he was really good this year. But I think I lean towards thinking the Packers win that game, even though it's in Chicago, just because I trust the quarterback more. Got a little more experience.
Yeah. Sergeant K9 says this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line, off the Double T 97.3 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. The wife does the voice thing to me as well. I don't think she means it the way you do, Chuck.
Okay.
This from Bobby Hot Dogs. Chuck, do you have your recliner prepped, Coors Light button, and summoning bell all shined up for your favorite weekend of the year? Summoning bell.
Jeff and I were laughing during the break about the fact that, I mean, whenever we have the conversation of like best sports days or best sports weekends, Chuck has always said Wild Card Weekend is as good as it gets, and I don't think Chuck has brought up Wild Card Weekend once this week.
I have not. I might be home.
And honestly, I don't think it's because Texas Tech signed Brendan Sorsby or anybody else in the portal.
Well, it's just not as interesting this year, Jamie.
Yeah, funny how that works, Chuck.
It's funny how that works.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is nice to have you with us today on this second Friday, Jamie, in January. We had the first Friday last week because it was the second day of the year. So this is the second Friday of January. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Visual Edge IT hotline, too, if you'd like to talk to us personally, 806-771-0973, and we'll respond personally. This person says, and I'm not monitoring this, so I'm just gonna read it. I'll take it at face value. Sounds more and more like Cam Coleman is going to UT. Okay, we'll see.
Let's imagine the scenario where Texas A&M, and Texas Tech are the favorites to land this superstar wide receiver in the transfer portal. Okay, can you imagine that scenario?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because that's exactly the case. All right. What do you think the University of Texas is thinking in behind closed doors, the powers that be there? Okay, their fan base is already frustrated that Texas Tech was in the playoff, Texas A&M is in the playoff, and Texas was not. Their fan base is probably extremely frustrated that they see us being, the prettiest girl in the transfer portal, landing spot compared to them, other schools across the country, right? Where it appears that, again, just like last year, we're going to have one of the best transfer portal classes. So this is a well-known, high-profile wide receiver that it is well-known by all three fan bases that those are the three candidates. You have to believe. Now, I don't know about the Aggies, but you have to believe that the University of Texas people are telling Cam Coleman, we will give you everything you want. Do not go to Texas Tech. Okay? If he goes to the Aggies, they see them as more somewhat equals, and it's not an embarrassment to them. If he comes to the Red Raiders, it would be the biggest embarrassment for the University of Texas football program. And it would outrage their fan base to no end. I have to believe that Texas is giving him just about everything he could ever want. That there is not a number that they won't match. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you're probably right. And the other thing too is that they probably have some endorsement money lined up for him as well, because there's some outside money on top of that. Although the thing that's kind of interesting is you're seeing stories of other players and schools offering these endorsement deals that haven't been cleared by the NCAA clearinghouse. So it makes you wonder how they can promise something that they can't deliver. But I mean, that statement's as old as the hills, right? And so so Texas is saying that. What do you think Texas Tech is saying to him? Maybe to counter that, Jamie.
You've got the opportunity here. We just signed the number one portal quarterback. He needs a number one wide receiver to throw to. That's you. Okay. We've got we've got the money to offer you that's similar to what Texas has. We've got the facility, the rabid fan base. We've got the fact that we were in the college football playoff last year. What else could you want? What else could you want? We don't have the large homeless population that you'll see in Austin, but to offer him. But I mean, if Texas Tech, this is a scenario where if Texas Tech gets Cam Coleman, I 100% am going to believe it is not about the money. It is 100% more about everything but the money, because Texas is going to be able to match the money. Texas A&M is going to be able to match the money. If he ends up at Texas Tech, it is going to be about the culture. It is going to be about Joey McGuire. It is going to be about, the facilities and the fan base and all that. And all of that would embarrass them so much. I can't I can't even think to how mad that fan base would be. This is, head to head with these three. Again, I think they could accept it so much more if it was the Aggies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it was,
us,
they don't consider us serious. They don't take us as a serious deal.
Yeah, and of course they've been, throwing out this obnoxious narrative. Oh, well, the only reason Texas Tech got good is because they spent a bunch of money. The same money that you have been spending, and the same money that you're spending now. Okay, so what's going to be the excuse if they get Cam Coleman? Because clearly Texas wants him. Okay, are their fans going to be happy with? Well, Texas Tech has more money than us. No. Are their fans going to be happy with? Well, he likes their head coach better. No. Are they going to be happy with? Well, he thinks he can go there and play with a better quarterback. They have Arch Manning. No, they're not going to be happy with that. This will be the biggest embarrassment for the University of Texas since we made the playoff and they didn't. But this will be horrible. And so I'll be so interested to see what happens here.
Yeah, no, you're not. And I think one of the things that I would say, if I'm Texas Tech is, look, one, Steve Sarkisian, there's all these rumors that keep floating about him going to the NFL. How long is he going to be here? But the other thing too is, man, you can be a part of something here as opposed to just being one of many down there. Just in terms of a legacy and, chance to get to a national championship and all those kinds of things.
See, if it's me, if I'm on the coaching staff at Tech, I am not negative recruiting at all. I am flat out showing the people of West Texas, the fan base of the Red Raiders, the facilities at Tech, the big stack of cash, the people that are in the building, the rest of the teammates that he's going to have, the teammates he could have had if he was here last year that are still hanging around that he can talk to find out what it's like being in Lubbock. So that when they do go and hear all these stories, oh, you don't want to play in Lubbock, there's nobody out there. And he's like, I just talked to like 10,000 people that are all pumped.
I feel like in this situation, because again, what they can offer is very equal.
Yeah.
Right, with these schools. I feel like the additional recruiters, a.k.a. players, could be the difference. Like who he makes a connection with. And maybe that's why, there were rumors that Coleman's visit was delayed a day to make sure that Sorsby could get back in town. Okay, I have no idea if that's accurate or not. No clue. Okay, but it would be, interesting to see what, how that connection was, or how that connection was with other guys, other wide receivers, with Coy or with our running backs or whatever, that group of guys, how they connected.
Yeah, and all those things. But look at Jeff being all positive about how he would approach things, Jamie. That was really good stuff.
When you negative recruit against somebody and it's not true, it makes you look bad.
It really does. It really does.
Because then they're like, no, I went to Lubbock.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a windy day, but
okay, so really quick here, a scale of 1 to 10, confidence that Texas Tech is going to land Cam Coleman.
I'm going to say 8, Jamie, just because I think they're going to match whatever. If he says, hey, I need this, then Tech's going to say done.
Jeff.
So I'm going to say 8.
5.
I'll go 4.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Okay.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.